Hello everyone, I am Jayanti, Assistant Professor of CSC Department at Kalanya Karunanidhi Institute of Technology, Coimbatore. We will start Unit 3, Arrays and Strings. More specific about arrays, we will see about introduction of an array, definition of an array declaration, array initialization, accessing array elements. First, we will see about the introduction of an array. In C language, mostly the variables are used to store the data. One single variable can only store one value at a time. For example, see here, int mark1 is equal to 85, int mark2 is equal to 90, int mark3 is equal to 78. So each and every marks can carries each and every single variable. So if that is a situation that we need to store 50 student marks, so declaration of 50 variables will become time consuming, confusing and hard to manage. To avoid all those things, there is one solution called arrays. In an array, we can able to store 50 students mark in a single variable. So this is the definition of an array. So it is a collection of similar type of elements stored in contiguous memory locations, and it can be accessed using a single name. For example, like int marks of 5. So it means that we can able to store 5 different subject marks of a single student. Instead of using 5 different variables, we can able to store in a single variable. As well as see the another example, int total of 5. So it means that we can able to store total marks of 5 different student in one variable. So this is how an array came into a C language. So for storing multiple values of similar type, an array is used. See, for example, this is the real-time example. See, for first picture contains watches that has been stored inside a single box. So it is a collection of more than one watches. It is stored in a single box. Like watches are nothing but values. Box is nothing but the variable. So in single box, multiple watches has been stored. This is one example. See the second picture. Second picture contains collection of bangles which has been kept in a single box. So here bangles can be declared. You can relate the bangles with the values and box with a variable. Okay, this is how an array is mapped with the real-time example. Now we will see about the array declaration. Array declaration is a process of specifying the type of an array, name of an array and size of an array. See the syntax here, data type, that means data underscore type followed by array name followed by size have been specified inside a square bracket. See, the above statement will help us to create the array with the name array name, and it can store a specified number of elements of the same type. For example, see in this slide, int marks of 5. So it specifies that after the declaration of array in C, the compiler will allocate the memory block of the specified size to the array name. So here array name is mark and the size of an array is 5, which is specified inside the square bracket. So this is the syntax for declaration of an array. Next, we will move on to array initialization. Array initialization is nothing but assigning values to a variable. So here when the array is allocated or declared, memory will be allocated. The elements of an array will contain some garbage value. So it is essential to initialize the array to have some meaningful values. For example, int marks of 5 is equal to, inside the curly braces you have to give the values. For example, here the size of an array is 5. So we can able to give up to 5 values. So beyond that we cannot able to give, because the array, the size of an array is fixed here as 5. So only 5 values can be given. So what are all the values I have given here? 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40 and 50. So these are all the 5 values I have allocated to a single variable called mark. This mark is called as a array variable. So this is how the values can be initialized to an array. So see this, there are many types or various ways we can able to initialize the values to an array. So first one is partial initialization. So here see the example, int mark of 5. So here what is the size of an array? It is a 5. So how much values I can able to give? 5 values I can able to give. But how much values I have given? I have given only 3 values as 70, 80 and 90, right? So two more values can be given, but I have not initialized here. So but while initialization of the size, it will allocate a memory. So how the values will be allotted means, see the diagram. So first box contains, so this box contains the 70 and this box contains the 80 and the third box contains the 90. So three values which I have I have kept inside the box. We have two more spaces allotted for the mark variable, right? So for that 0 will be replaced. Instead of garbage value, it will be considered as 0. So see here, I have marked the index value as index value as 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, because usually the index value of an array will start from 0. So how it will end? Size minus 1. If the value of the size of an array is 5, so from 0 to 4 it will be initialized. So starting from 0 there will be 5 values, 0 to 4. Okay, so this is how initialization is done. So if there is no value has been initialized, then it will be considered as a 0. So this explains the partial initialization. Next comes the other type, that is skipping the size of the array. So this is also another way of initializing an array. See here, in the example I have used as int marks. Inside the square bracket I haven't mentioned the size of an array. So it means that it is dynamic. How much values I am going to initialize, that much of number will be considered as a size. So how much values I have initialized? 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So totally 5 values I have initialized for this variable called marks. So the size of an array now will be as 5. So see the diagram. So this resembles the values allocator. See 10, first box, that means index, it will take the index position 0. The next box contains a 20, that will take the index position as 1. And next is 30, that will consider the index position as 2. And next box contains 40, the index position of 40 is 3. And next comes the 50, the index position of 50 is 4. So index value will always starts from 0 to n minus 1. So n here is nothing but size of an array. So 0 to 4, so totally 5. So 5 values can be added. So this is the second type in array initialization. Next comes the another type of initialization, that is means nothing but initialization of array with 0 for all the elements. Say for example, see int a of 5 is equal to, I have inside the curly braces I have given as 0. So the array of the size is 5 and the elements of all the 5 contains only the 0. See the diagram which explains you clearly. See, as I told you, the size of an array is 5. So 5 spaces will be created. The index position will start from 0 and end with 4, since the how the index position will be marked from 0 to n minus 1. So that is why here from 0 to 4 it has been marked, and the value which I have initialized for this is 0. So to all the boxes or to all the index position, 0 will be considered as value. This is how the initialization is done. So we have seen the initialization of an array. Now we'll move on to accessing of array elements. How to access the elements which is present in an array. So we can see, for example, as I told you in the previous slide, if I have marked the size of an array is 5 and 5 values have been initialized, randomly I can access any values from the array. That can be done with the help of the index. Okay, see can provide a random access to its elements, which means that we can able to access any element of the array by providing the position of the element, that is called index. See the syntax which I have been written there, array name of index. So it means that we have to provide the name of the array followed by the which index value you have to take. So as I told you, the index value will always starts from 0 to size -1. Okay, so we'll see with an example how to access the element of an array. See, int markup 5 is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay, right? So if you need to access the value 30 which is present in marks of 5, how you can able to access? As I told you in the previous slide, we can able to access the value with the help of the index, right? So now tell me, what is the index position of 30? We know that already the index position of an array will start from 0, right? So 10 will take the index position 0, 20 will take the index position as 1, 30 will take the index position as 2. So if we use marks of 2, then we can able to retrieve the value. Okay, this is how we can able to access the element from the array. See here, as I told you now, marks of, for example, see here, it have been given as mark of 0. So which value will be retrieved? Yes, the index position where the 0 is 50, right? So 50 will be retrieved. So here marks will be considered as an array name. 0 is considered as an index value. So marks of 0 means the value 50 will be printed. This is how we can able to access the elements present in an array. So I will show you with an example program. So far we have seen about array declaration and initialization and how to access the array elements. So both the things will be shown in here. See, I am using a online C compiler for a demo purpose. So first I have to declare and initialize the array. So how to declare? Int space marks, and I am giving the size as 5. Okay, this is how initial declaration of an array will happen. Okay, so if I start with this, it means that array is declared. So we can able to initialize the array values also, right? So how to initialize? Equal to, I have to open the curly braces and I need to enter the 5 values, because here size of an array I fixed as 5. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Then I am closing the curly braces, ending with a semicolon. So what I have done in this line, I have just declared the integer array with the variable name mark of the size 5. And also I have initialized the 5 values. Okay, next one I am going to tell how to access the array elements. So how to access the array elements? If you need to access, that means you have to show as an output, right? So print statement is used. So what is the print statement? Printf, then inside the double quotation, since this is a integer value, I am using %d. Okay, I am giving %d, comma. Okay, now if we need to access the value 30, the value 30 from the array marks, how to access? With the help of the index value, right? So what is the index value of 30? It is present in the third situation, third current position, right? So third position carries index position 0, 1, 2. So 2 is the index position of 30. And what is the name of an array? Marks is the name of the array. So marks of 3, sorry, marks of 2, because 2 is the index position of 30, right? So semicolon. So now I have completed the program. Let us execute and see what is happening. See, in the output 30 has been displayed. Okay, this is how you can able to access the array elements. Now imagine that we need to access or print all the elements present in an array. Okay, how to print it? Either you can print it in the same way as, see, see the coding, what are all the changes I am going to do. I am just placing it as marks index position of 0, index position 0, then index position 1, index position 3, finally index position number 4. So this is how we can able to access all the elements which is present in the array. So in order to make the elements printed in the next line, I'm just adding the /n here. So it will include the new line character. Okay, new line /n. If it is na, it will be printed like in the same line. So in order to avoid confusion, I'm just adding the new line character. So now we will execute and see what is happening. See here, the marks 1, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 has been displayed. Okay. Okay. Now, like as an array, I also need to execute only one printf and need to make to print all the elements in an array. How to do that? Yes, with the help of the looping system or looping concept, we can able to print all the elements present in an array with the help of a single print statement. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to do a small change in a program that I'm going to, because my condition is to use only one print statement in array, right? So I'm removing and deleting all the print statement except one. I'm deleting all the print statement present in the array. So for using the looping concept, for example, they take that we are going to use a for loop here. Okay, so in order to iterate, I am initializing a variable called I. Okay, see, I'm declaring a variable int I, then I'm using that I inside a for loop. So as the index value will always in an array will start from 0, right? So I'm giving here also I is equal to 0 up to which it should be iterated up to 5 index position, right? That is we are having 5 values, so up to 5 we have to iterate. So I'm taking 0 to I less than 5. So less than 5 means up to 4 it will be considered. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 values it will get printed. Then comes the incrementation section. Okay. So I'm giving to avoid confusion, I'm giving inside a curly braces. Okay. Now we will execute and see whether it is working or not. It is printing as 10 10 10 10 10 10 10 10 10, so it is nothing bad. What is a mistake I have done? It means I have included here marks of I need to be given. Likewise, in order to make the print in the next line, I am including a new line character, that is /n. Okay, I am executing it again. See, 10 20 30 40 and 50 have been displayed as an output. So this is how you can able to declare an array and initialize the values in an array and to access the elements present in an array. So next concept we will see in next video. Thank you.